following is a presentation of TFNN, living a primal lifestyle. Now, your hosts, Nico, DeHaan, and Paige Clarke.
All right, welcome to the new year, folks, 2013. Boy, this is a whole brand new beginning for us, together here.
It really is. More than people even realize.
Yeah,
it is a new beginning.
I think so.
We're in the age of Aquarius.
Yeah, we are. There's some theory that it's not for another 50 years. Some people say 1998 was when we entered it. I feel like we're already in it. I feel like a new person. It's always nice to go through the new year and kind of renew yourself, and that's what we're doing here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. So we have Paige here, Nico here, and we want to welcome you to the program. And right now it's about 57 degrees here in downtown Clearwater.
You got to wear some sleeves today.
I had to wear some sleeves, a little rainy out, kind of winter weather. So it's not too bad. If your roof is not leaking, it's not too bad.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I know. I got a leaky roof at my studio.
Fun Friday project.
Folks, pick up my Health Signals newsletter, and before I forget, 877-927-6648 is the phone number here. But my Health Signals newsletter is out, the first one for the year, and it really starts off with cancer, the forbidden cure. And, most of you probably know that my sister had been diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is a cancer disease of the blood. And I've been doing some research on this over the last year and seeing what my sister's going through, and it really appears to me that the little chemo that she did for a while, which worked for a while and then didn't seem to, the markers, and this is the M protein that they mark as what their concern is. And they want to get that down to a certain level below whatever the number is. I think she had a 2.86 or something. They want to get it below 1. And it was doing it for a while, and then it slowly went up. She was also taking some steroid, which they kind of use in conjunction with. Both of these things have really deteriorated her state of health. So it's not the disease that's hurting her as much as the treatments. A big concern to me, to her, of course, and these are tough decisions. I think when you're faced with a doctor telling you you've got 5 or 7 years or 2 years to live, then you're in a kind of panic state all of a sudden.
Well, it creates that. And remember, what we think about, we bring about. So in my opinion, no doctor ever has the right to tell a person. Do you know how many stories there are of people who a doctor said, you've got 6 months, and 6 months to the day,
it really does.
They go ahead and...
So I put this on the front page because this covers a lot of things starting from around the turn of the century, last century, the 1900s, and it talks about what the medical community kind of did to isolate themselves from the traditional types of cures that have been out there for centuries. And of course, we know that cancer has been escalating, so that means
big business.
It's a huge business, and also what's being done isn't really working, plus all the pollutants and everything that's in our environment and in our bodies have created a lot of these problems. I had an interesting conversation this week with a guy that runs a lab. He's a doctor, and he runs a lab that does all the testing. And I talked to him about my sister's dilemma with what's going on, and he says, the multiple myeloma, they have this one marker that they use, and what they're doing is they're saying, okay, you have to get below that number. It's kind of like the colon cancer thing. And I heard years ago that, everybody's doing these testings for their colon. And, when they catch something serious, you've got to pay attention to it. But there are so many things that happen. And then basically the information is that most people, 99% of the people, will die of old age before they actually get the cancer.
And that's the case.
And that's the case. And it may not even ever show up in their life as a symptom. And this is kind of what's happening with Corey, my sister. She has no symptoms of the disease. She has a lot of symptoms of the drugs that they're giving her.
Correct.
And so he's saying that 99% of the people, if you're over 60 years old and into your 80s and 90s, 99% of these people are going to have those markers, and they're going to be high with no symptoms.
Well, what we need to understand is that in reality we have cancer every day. Cancer is just a cell mutation where the cell learns to operate in a not normal situation format. And again, in the holistic world we deal a lot with how emotions are affected. with these things.
Yeah.
And the fear creates the situation where people are going and utilizing these invasive surgery, radiation, toxic chemotherapy drugs or chemicals.
Yeah.
And so it is sad. And I think that we need to hope that people are going to take the time to get educated more about.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do in the newsletter.
There's lots of cures for cancer.
Because there's a lot of videos in here and a lot of articles that are linked to it. So when you see the blue line underneath the words, you can go to a video or more information on these things. I think it's easier to say, oh, I've got a tumor, I'm going to get it cut out. That makes a lot of sense to me. And, of course, surgery in the United States is one of the best things that we do.
Well, do you know that really a tumor is the body? Again, if you understand that the immune system is really the most powerful, no one cures cancer. Only your body cures cancer. A tumor is actually the body's attempt to seal the rest of the body off from the cancerous cells. These cells gone radical.
Right.
So, in my opinion, these people that then go and say, oh, I have a lump, and then they biopsy it. The vision I have is, you know the dandelion flowers with the little white, the little ball, and you go, when you were a kid?
Right.
That's what happens when you pierce a tumor. You're then allowing
things to go in there.
To go out. The cells that the body, by forming a tumor, I'm not the only person that thinks this. I mean, so in some ways, it's better to work on eliminating the terrain that created this situation where the cancer
makes
could
total
arise.
sense. The only thing I'm saying is that if I had cancer of a tumor of some kind, it's not going to be as much of a problem just taking the tumor out as it is with a disease like the multiple myeloma or leukemia, where it's in your blood.
Yeah.
Now, you can't take that out.
Yeah, you can't. Well,
you can take the blood out and put
actually,
some back
believe it
in.
or not, there are a lot of people that are doing that. They're taking the blood out and they're
this has to do with stem cells.
Not just stem cells, the stem cells, but they're also taking and oxygenating and like radiating the blood through ultraviolet radiation, UV radiation of the blood to clean up the blood. And
well, one of the treatments suggested to her was the stem cell, where they take this good, healthy stem cells out, and what they do is then put you in high doses of chemical and radiation, your whole body, for a period of time, and then they reintroduce the healthy stem cells in there. What Corey has found out, however, is that, and she asked the doctor, her and her husband, say, well, the people who did this, where are they now? Well, they're back in treatment. 90% of them. How many did you have? 30 of them. How many are back in treatment? 30 of them. Well,
because the treatments that they use, chemotherapy is a carcinogen. I mean, when we start to really follow the way it is, chemotherapy and radiation are carcinogenic.
Yeah.
Carcinogenic means causes cancer. So if we stop and we really,
never-ending circle here.
We're treating cancer with a cancer causer.
Yeah.
And, they consider you to be cured if you live 5 years.
Yeah.
Even if you live 5 years and you die on the second day,
because that's
you're considered cured.
Yeah, that's the test thing. If you're 5 years, you're okay according to our tests and our analysis. Bye-bye.
Well, that allows them to skew their results.
Yeah. One thing they did, and this is very scary too, folks, that one thing they did tell her is that we went back to the doctor, well, if you don't take these directions that we're giving you, we're going to cut you off from everything that the Cancer Center has to offer. So the social aspect of it, the therapy, the mental therapy that you get from the social workers and things, all that support is all of a sudden gone. I'm thinking to myself, maybe that's good. I don't know. It's a dilemma. Believe me, it's a dilemma for the person that's going through it, dilemma for the family that shares that, and you're just putting up your hands and saying, oh, my God, I don't know what to do.
Well, I'm sorry that you're having to go through that.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. Tough on the whole family, your husband.
I think it's really a good idea to take a look at what they're doing in places like Mexico, because many of the doctors in the States that really want to help correct this dis-ease, that's what it is, a dis-ease in the body, and they want to get more to the root cause of it and not use toxic methods, are operating in other countries. But Mexico is one of those places that.
And Honduras was another one that they suggested she go to. The unfortunate thing is that you have to spend a lot of time there. Now you're spending 6 months or a year in Honduras. and that expense is, just like the other thing. Yeah, so anyway, folks, that's the beginning of the Health Signals newsletter. A lot of great articles in here again.
And I think the links to some of these great works, these videos, is excellent.
The video here, the one that is called Cancer, the Forbidden Cures, is something that's a must-see, I think, for everybody, because it does take you through the whole history of the American Medical Association and what they did, and then some of the cures that are natural cures still available today, mostly from other countries, from Canada and Mexico, and there's links in the video to that, so, you can do your own research, make up your own mind. Information is what's going to help you do these things. So
I think a really great video that's out right now is Stanislaw Brzezinski.
Yes.
Is a medical doctor who has been fighting the cancer industry and has a patent on his anti-neoplaston therapy. He makes brain cancers, the most deadly brain cancers, go away in a non-toxic way. And but he has been fighting the FDA, and that movie is tremendously enlightening as to the persecution he's gone through, and has recently, some of the legislation, they finally had to leave him alone, but it's cost him billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars. So that's a great video, too.
Yeah,
Brzezinski, the movie.
We have somebody on the line, Rick from BC. We're going to go after the break. We've got just 2 minutes left here, Rick. So if you'd hang on until after the break, and we'll get to that, because he's going to be talking about cancer and oxygen treatments.
Awesome. Okay, great.
So that sounds really good. A few other items in here that probably will pique your interest, and one of them is a article by Nora Gagatis, who has been a guest on my show. Are you a fat burner or a sugar burner? And her analysis of that. Very important to understand what's going on. How to supplement on a primal diet, an interesting take on this. And I believe in some supplements. I'm getting away from more, as we talked about earlier, the fish oils and things like that. A lot of controversy, again, about what is actually happening in the body and why we need to, or maybe not need to take these things. And we're going to be discussing those.
One of the things that you and I have talked about, and as you know, in my practice, I recommend supplements of foods.
Yeah,
so it's food, whole food-based supplements can on occasion, but we always want to look and try and correct our diet so that we're getting our nutrition from our diet. Yeah,
and a study on the new incident on the ketogenic diet, the fat-burning diet, and what the results with epilepsy. Of course, we're talking about oils and fats that are so good for us because our brain is made up of protein and fats mostly. Very essential nutrients.
So is our heart. And it's a muscle, but the fuel that it uses is fat.
No doubt about it.
It's interesting, right? The heart uses fat as a primary fuel, correct? Yes. But the brain does use glucose as a primary fuel for its fat body, but it needs for rebuilding.
For rebuilding, requires and also your liver needs for
liver's
the
a big fat organ.
And it's a big fat organ that needs sugar to cleanse the body. Folks, 877-927-6648. We'll be right back after the break with Rick from BC. So hang around, please.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Millionaires are made every day. The fact is, living your dreams is possible. Someone, somewhere is going to get rich. My recommendation is, let that be you. Each day, someone is making the decision to better themselves and creating a plan to fulfill their financial dreams. Let that be you. The key to turning dreams into reality is to take massive action. Let that be you. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN, and I can help you with your journey to great wealth. I'll show you how to create the ultimate financial edge, a set of tools, insights, and strategies that are part of my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability. You'll have direct access to me by phone, email, and my private library of trading and investing secrets for 30 days with an unconditional money-back guarantee. I'll take your trading to the next level. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage at TFNN.com and turn your dreams into reality. Mastering Probability, folks. Let that be you.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Great Panther Silver. For more information, just click the Great Panther Silver banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hey, welcome back to the show, folks. It's Nico and Paige on Living a Primal Lifestyle, and we have someone on the phone here, Rick from BC. Hi, Rick. How's it going today?
Hey, really good. I'm a first-time caller to your show.
Well, so are you listening on the Internet?
I am, yeah.
Great.
I'm with TFNN.
Fantastic.
Just two things I'd like to bring up.
Okay.
My mother had a type of leukemia. I think it's a good type, if pardon the expression. But what happens is if you're not diagnosed, it starts affecting your organs. And she was diagnosed at an early stage, and she's made 20 trips to Mexico to a Dr. Castillo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not.
I think Paige has.
Mm-hmm.
And I live in fairly close to the tip of Alaska. I live in middle of British Columbia, halfway up the province.
Uh-huh.
And there's a lot of people from here that have gone, for cancer purposes. Apparently, like he comes up here and he had a packed house. It wasn't. We have what's called an old church where people hold meetings. So it didn't hold that. It was a small, but there was a lot of people there.
Yeah.
A couple hundred or whatever. And I had heard that he just opened up a room where he uses oxygen to kill cancer. I don't know if you ever heard of anything like that before.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And but he dealt with patients with cancer previous to that, and I really don't know what procedure he used. Chronic fatigue, You know, I think he's quite a religious man. You know, he quite often prays with his patients, and seems to be a very down-to-earth guy. I've never met him myself.
Sure.
So anyway, I just thought I'd mention that Dr. Castillo. A lot of people, like in our community, he's you know, thought very highly of, and I know, and I don't know if it was Dr. King's. One of them went to a clinic, Martin Luther King's wife, relative, and there's some of these fly-by-nighter clinics in Mexico, pardon the expression, but probably aren't as reliable. So I don't know if they have some negative, you know, people think of negatively of some of those clinics there. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention this particular person, Dr. Castillo, is pretty incredible. Now, you mentioned earlier about foods, and my question was, you see these infomercials with people that have back pain, and very often they talk about the soft tissue, right?
Yeah.
In a person's body, and they always say, well, you know, instead of painkillers, you know, take this, take that, take this. From, you know, we all suffer, or we have loved ones that suffer from pain. A lot of times, like it's soft tissue located in your body, in your back, shoulder, wherever. What do you recommend for that? Is there something, like, I typed in, I forget the name of it, and I typed it in, and then I read some negative stuff about it, and I'm like, you know,
well, there's two things. First of all, there's things that you can take in nature that can help, but there's also the aspect of physical exercise, especially yoga, which teaches you, kind of reteaches you how to hold your core. Because if we were in a more primal setting with no chairs around, you would be stabilizing your core because you'd have to get up and down off the ground 100 times a day. Something we don't do because chairs kind of stop us the halfway. Toilets do the same thing. So
unless you use a squatty potty.
Yeah, unless you use a squatty potty like I do. But what happens is because of the tilt of the pelvis, puts a strain on the back. It takes the center out of your spine. It actually jams your spine down into your hip. So learning those things is a great help in back pain, just that alone. Other things.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt exercise is the key. I was just curious, though, as far as nutrients go, like, you know, if there's something, like, apparently it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to happen, like, you know, sometimes you got to take it for like 30, 60 days to, so it gets into your system, along with exercise, like you mentioned.
Yeah. All right, I can address that. I'll tell you a little bit of things, and you can write this down, too. I kind of want to let you know that most pain is related to inflammation or low metabolism, or a low oxygenated environment, which is typical of chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia and cancer. A great herb is turmeric. Turmeric, taking a couple capsules of turmeric a day. Anti-inflammatory. I mean, just go Google the benefits of turmeric.
How do you spell that again?
Turmeric, this common spice, turmeric. Turmeric, or curcumin, which is the active form. So any turmeric,
curries.
It's what they make curries with. Yep. Checking your vitamin D status, since we know that 80% of the people are low in vitamin D. Getting your vitamin D levels up above 60. If you're in the normal range, it's not enough. If you're 30, it's not good enough. You need to raise that.
And we're going to be addressing this. Rick, thanks a lot for calling.
Thank you.
Great call. And we have Larry coming up right after the break from Cheyenne. So stick around, folks. Remind you to pick up my Health Signals newsletter. It's packed full of things you need to know about how to keep healthy, wealthy, and wise so you can keep on trading. That's the way we like it. And it's 877-927-6648. Paige and I will be back after the break with Larry. Stick around.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle with Nico, DeHaan, and Paige Clarke. And we're here, and on the phone is Larry from Cheyenne. Hey, good afternoon,
Hey, Larry.
Yeah, good afternoon. I love your show. I really appreciate what you're doing, and I pretty much am online with everything you do. You know my story. I had a multi-decade undiagnosed broken neck, and then to restore my health after I got it fixed, I did basically everything you do. I probably emphasized detoxing a bit more, but regardless, it's the same line. Mm-hmm. So I joined Toastmasters in an effort to learn how to influence people to come on with my line of thinking.
I love that group.
And I'm just going to tell you what I've learned. Human nature is hard to defeat or sway, and most people want to believe in magic, and they like the idea that pills will bail them out.
Boy, that's
And the other thing I learned was when I go out of interest to different religious groups, I talk to the religious leaders of those institutions, and they do not want to hear that the medical allopathic doctrine is failing the public and leading to unnecessary suffering almost on Holocaustic levels. They need the funding from the medical doctors that have high status within these institutions, and so you have a feedback loop that prevents ministers, whatever, rabbis, you name it, leadership people, from ever admitting that they have to address this for their flock. And so you close the loop. And this is fascinating to me because the very people that should break down alienation and exploitation among humans actually are producing it.
Well, you know, both of them are fear-based institutions.
Yeah, you can really go down. You've probably traveled a little bit down the rabbit hole there. You know, there is a direct connection with what's really going on with the church and big business and
probably church was the first really large business of the world.
It is the big business of the world, I think. So it is frustrating, though, isn't it, when you want to try and help people? I'm hearing what you're talking about.
And I think a lot of these people on an individual level would be probably more in tune with what you're talking about, but as part of the institution, that's much larger than they are, and I think that kind of takes over.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. People get it, and it's just sad that, you know, we live in a capitalistic culture where there's everybody's monetized in effect.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay, enough said. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Hey, no, we really enjoy it, and, you know, that's the key point. If everybody starts to expose the truth, and that's kind of what we have to do, and you know, not all parts of medicine are bad, but we have to understand and look at the ties behind and really look at follow the money. And the more each of us try, and I commend you to join a group like Toastmasters. Fantastic, so you can get comfortable and start sharing information. I mean, that's kind of why I'm here, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
I started with Toastmasters years ago.
You know, I want to change the world. I want people to know the truth. My heart hurts that I want people to know the truth, you know, and the bottom line is all I want to say is I want to share this with you. Then do your own research. And then when you start to really look at things, the truth will resonate. You know, if you ask, I really want to understand what's the truth, and it'll stand out. Don't you think? Don't you think it does, Larry? When you really want to find out the truth?
I got to be honest with you, Paige. I'm questioning that. I give people incredible data. I learn, you know, we all learn from each other. I created an expectancy table based on the data available at the CDC sites, and I explain in great detail that the methodologies of allopathic medicine will leave you chronically sick. Yeah. And people don't want to hear that in large.
No, because they don't know what the alternative is. That means they have to do a lot of work on themselves. You have to do the research yourselves to find these things. Most of the great cures that were instituted for 1,000 years are hidden from our society today.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of my coaching practice, Larry, is based on what I call what the doctors were doing before there was the actual pharmaceutical cartel. You know, simple things: iodine, baking soda, Epsom salts, magnesium, grounding, electricity. I mean, Tesla, electricity, magnetism. Really, healing is voltage. And just kind of tying back to our last conversation on the last set. You know, if you want to understand, healing is really voltage. Everything is electricity and magnetism. And it doesn't have to be as complicated as this, but you're exactly right. People buy into this magic pill. So the placebo effect works in both ways. You know, if you believe it's going to work, you know,
well, just
whether
remember,
it's a pill
too,
or not.
if you're looking at all the advertising, all the TV, and all the mass media that's out there promoting what's going on, and in fact, we've got a couple of articles in front of us that talks about fear and anxiety and how that's built up, and the state of our children, the state of people traveling. You know, we're all building anxiety. You start listening to all the different news. You know, nothing but anxiety and problems out there.
The sick care cartel really makes a lot of money on anxiety and fear. It's very profitable. It creates dis-ease in the body, in the mind, and in the spirit. So, you know, we got to kind of follow what's you know, helping further their cause.
Larry, keep doing what you're doing. That's fantastic.
Don't get discouraged. Thank you.
Well, you too. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Larry. Great call. Boy, our callers are just awesome today. So this article is on a book that I was reading, and the average high schooler today has the same level of anxiety as the average psychiatric patient in the early 1950s.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, so, and you can see it, of course. We were talking about earlier, Paige and I were talking about Sandy Hook and all the different things that are going on, and whether these things are true or not, we don't even know, I think, because if you start looking...
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction, yeah. You start looking on the blogosphere and they come up with all these different theories that may be true. Who knows? But the thing is, we do know that the anxiety, the fear level, people are under much more pressure today than they've ever been. We're out of sync with our own cycles, our own body cycles, the earth cycles, everything, right?
Exactly. And going to a positive point,
okay.
You know, I was on a training seminar last night with a thing that I do in my practice, which is helping people sync their bodies and their organs based on a 5-element Chinese clock, or chronobiology as it's called. And it was kind of interesting because then we found this article today about social jet lag, which has kind of been not as opposed to traveling jet lag, but you know, the fact that we're not getting enough sleep, and we feel guilty about sleeping, like as if it means that we're lazy. And so social jet lag is the difference between what we need in terms of our sleep, and sleep is our rejuvenation time, yes. And then our duties or our perceived, you know, our anxieties of what we need to do.
One of the things in the article says that people are going to bed later and getting up earlier.
Same time that they've always had, even though they're staying up later.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, of course, I'm the opposite. I go to bed at 9:30, get up at 5 o'clock.
Well, you're picking up the cycle of the sun, and really it goes back to astrological times, and that we're supposed to be synchronized. Yeah. We're supposed to have a chronobiology.
If you don't have the artificial lights out there, you're going to all of a sudden, and you don't have the big house that's shielding you from everything, then you would automatically go into that the normal cycles.
And this researcher, this author, you know, suggests that he doesn't even use an alarm clock unless he's catching a plane.
I never use one.
And you know what? I think that's great. I think that you're kind of going to sleep.
I wake up like a minute before it's supposed to ring.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife is always astounded. I says, well, my dad told me a long time ago. He says, all you have to do is think of the time that you want to go to get up.
I think that's a good
and,
thing.
And I do. And, you know, it's amazing because I get up at 5 or 6. There's a couple days I get up at 6, and the rest of the time I get up at 5. Mm-hmm. But even my day off, I like to get up early because I don't want to waste a day sleeping. Mm-hmm. I want my sleeping to be at night, and it gets me in a really good rhythm. So,
and a lot of you that are trading, you know, the trading day's over with. So go to sleep, get up early. I know a lot of traders actually do get up early, don't they?
I would
because
think so.
They're looking at the Asian markets.
I know Tom does. He's at my place at 6 o'clock or 6:30.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about early. Like some of them probably get up at like 2 because they're looking to see what's going on
in Europe
and so forth.
Japan,
and
Well,
kind of get a jump on what's going on. I don't know. Maybe that's true, maybe not.
But I really do think that the fear-based society, is which we are, in fact, it says in here, the United States is now ranks as the most anxious nation on the planet, with more than 18% of adults suffering from a full-blown anxiety disorder in any given year.
Yes. that require pharmaceuticals is what they want people to do.
Yeah.
Isn't that special?
Isn't it?
The top most anxious people in the world.
And it's not only from listening to the news and our
real
mass
and perceived,
media.
or real and make-believe.
Yeah, yeah. And it's also from the food. Because if you're not getting the nourishment, then your body can't rest. It's looking for things. It's looking for that nourishment. It's probably scavenging some of your great parts of your body to get the nourishment to the rest of the body. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on when you don't nourish yourself. And believe me, to me, food is the most precious thing on the planet. So I want the best food. I want to research that.
So let's protect our food.
Yeah, we have to protect our food, and you know, all that's going on in our society that you see is that is being taken away from us slowly but surely.
You know, there's some people that are sort of connecting the dots and understand that if the food supply is tainted, then it creates an environment where people need more pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah, which costs you a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you can sort of see the connection there. I mean, you have to make your own decisions. You have to bring it into your heart space and decide what's really true.
It's tough decisions.
And then you decide to control the things you can.
Yeah. Well, you know, the great thing is I talk to people every day that come up to me and say, I love what you're doing. I like, where are you getting your food? And, you know, I get a lot of my pork from Thompson Farms in Georgia, so you can Google that. Great place. White Pastures, where I get my chicken from. These are both the top of the line as far as food. They have beef also. They have, some of them even have ostrich and things like that. So there is great food available. You just have to find it. And these people also will shuffle it down to some of your food places. I had one of my listeners text me or email me and told me that Whole Foods carries Thompson's.
Oh, do they?
So, yeah, and so this stuff is available, and believe me, you'll start eating less and eating better and feeling great.
Put your
about
energies into realizing that this is your food is what gives your body the energy to be healthy and to heal, and that's our raw materials. We need raw materials to make good cells, and that's ultimately what health is. If you can rebuild and remake cells, so kind of tying in what we talked about, healthy food and anxiety. Let's talk about one of my favorite new foods.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's not a new food, it's an old food. But bone broth or gelatin.
And it's in my newsletter today, too.
Yeah, and
gelatin,
actually,
yes. You brought me some gelatin, too.
Well, here's my little bit of orange juice with my gelatin.
And gelatin comes from the bones?
Gelatin is a byproduct of the bones and the skin of animals. And, in historical times, we ate bone broths.
Yes.
And let me tell you why it's important to do what your great-great-grandmother used to do, and that's eat bone broths. Or, in our busy society, get the gelatin, like from GreatLakesGelatin.com is where I get mine.
Okay.
And then I add it into everything I drink. So, in effect, a tablespoon or so gives you 6 grams of protein. So you take a couple of those through the day in your drinks.
Gelatin is a protein?
It is a protein.
Okay.
It's an amino acid. It's an amino acid that gives you about 6 grams of protein. So a lot of our meats are heavy in what we understand to be more of the stress-promoting amino acids. And glycine balances that out. And glycine is the primary amino acid in bone broths or in gelatins that we can buy and use. Yeah. And the glycine is critical because it helps us make our number one antioxidant. That's glutathione. Glutathione is the antioxidant that we all make. Our bodies make it. See, we're all about helping our body do what it's supposed to do. Uh-huh. And so everyone thinks, I need to get more antioxidants, and yes, we do, but let's help our bodies make the ones that we were designed to make. And the beautiful thing about glutathione is that it actually rejuvenates the other antioxidants in our bodies, like vitamin C and vitamin E.
We do have another caller on the line from Pompano Beach, Kay Richo. Mm-hmm. Kay, how you doing today?
Hi, it's actually Kay Rico. And,
Kay Rico. How you doing today?
Okay, I'm from Costa Rica, but I'm here in the United States just for some R&R.
Oh, great.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, I need it. So let me ask you guys. I live a very high profile, low profile, whatever you want to call it, stressful life.
Yeah.
I'm in the weeds a lot, and then I come up for air. Mm-hmm. I believe today the children of the world, but I'll pick on the United States, they're all sitting around playing with their thumbs on video games, getting fat.
Yep.
And not playing in dirt like I did, and I'm sure you did, Nico.
I definitely did.
I did too.
Yeah, Paige is a big dirt lover.
Yeah, I am a big dirt lover.
Right. And now you were just talking about, for our immune system. Basically, everything is about our immune system.
It is everything about ours. Mm-hmm.
And I study a lot when I have free time, cancer cures. I'm just a very curious person. I also do a lot of studying in the last 10 years about earthquakes and the plates of the world. Mm-hmm. But my point is, everything is tied into stress and how we handle it. Would you say that's a fair assumption?
No doubt about it.
That's exactly true.
And I also believe that because my first relative memory of extreme stress was when I was 19 years old, which is almost 48 years ago.
Okay, let's hold that thought until after the break. Just a short break, and we'll be right back on our show.
If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. It's Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. On the phone, we have Kay Risho from Pompano Beach. So where were we in the conversation?
He was telling us the story. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. You know, I just look at young children today. Well, I don't really. I look at them when they're out and about in the world that they live in, but then I imagine when they're home playing their video games with their thumbs, the only exercise is their hand motion.
Yeah.
And we know that we see, is what I'm saying, is with our own eyes, the population is just getting fatter, and they say they have more cholesterol, which I have no idea about. That's a whole other subject.
Yeah.
But it all ties in to Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Because when we were kids, we played in the backyard. We played in the schoolyard. We played outside with Mother Nature around us.
Yeah. We were connected to nature, and, you know, so again, because we believe that we're here to exchange ideas, you know, is it possible that this was a plan to distract a whole generation?
Boy.
What's the purpose of the plan? Who's the master planner that is causing this distraction? And we can get really deep into this.
We sure can.
I just know that I have 3 rules, and I have one letter in the alphabet that is the key for my thinking. It's the letter H, and it stands for health is our most important factor in life.
Correct.
Our happiness, and keeping a sense of humor.
I like that.
I know I don't sound very humorous today.
Well, we're talking about a deep subject here, that's for sure.
Well, your comment about stress being the root of all illness, that's really kind of the cornerstone of my program at my office. Is one of the first things we do is we do a 100-point stressor test. And I use some biofeedback equipment to see what are the stressors. So, I mean, you're right on. So the question is, how can we eliminate these stressors, real, imagined, or whatever?
Well, it also, last week I was talking about how we separate our society. It separates everybody in different age groups and different ethnic groups. Even though we had this great thing in the 60s where everybody was going to come together, it never really happened. We're more segregated than ever. Our population now is children here, adults over here, the old folks over here, no connection between the two. That's a major stressor right there.
What were you going to, your comment?
No, I hear you. I just know that I live a very dangerous life at times, and the most stress that I'm under would probably crush any normal person. But I think because I have adopted, we all adapt to our environment. So being in a stressful, dangerous environment, I've adapted, and then I'm totally a plain, ordinary-looking citizen in the world that I try to get back into, and the stress is relieved. I feel okay, but I know I'm on a minute's split-second notice of I'm back in action, and I don't have any kind of head post-traumatic things that it's terrible for so many people in the war zones. But the point is, I always come back to Mother Nature. And for me, the best stress releaser for me is to go up into the mountains.
Oh, boy, no kidding.
Hey, forest breathing. There's literally compounds. I'm an aromatherapist, and remind me to bring that up. One of these it's called forest bathing. Have you ever heard of that?
Well, I haven't heard of it, but I certainly know about going into forest or bamboo jungles, and I know what I get out of it is so wonderful.
Yeah, and here our society is really cutting all this stuff down.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah,
sad.
Well, thank you for sharing that information.
Yeah,
today.
great
Nice
call,
talk.
and I know you call Tom regularly, and we love having you on the show.
Well, thank you. Gracias.
Gracias. Bye-bye. Great call. This is really in depth about what this show is all about. Is de-stressing, learning how to, getting back to Mother Nature, and we're trying to provide this information for you. Hope you enjoyed it today. We're going to be back next week with another great show. And pick up my newsletter. I think you'll find it really interesting. Got some great articles and some beautiful recipes in there. So this is Paige and Nico. We're out of here, and we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.